Today I'm going to show you how to do the provisional cast on. There are a couple of different ways you can do this cast on, but I am going to show you the method that is usually referred to as the one-step method. So for this you'll want some smooth scrap yarn. I like to use sock yarn, a crochet hook, and your knitting needles. The size of crochet hook isn't crucial for this because the stitches that you end up casting on are going to be on your working needle, and so they'll be the exact size that you need. I just try to choose a size that closely matches the gauge of my scrap yarn. So the first thing you'll want to do is make a slip knot with your scrap yarn. And you won't need to leave a super long tail here, just long enough that it won't come undone. Okay, and you're going to slip that slip knot onto your crochet hook and pull snug. And keeping your crochet hook in your right hand and your knitting needle in your left, we are going to cross our crochet hook over our knitting needles. And I'm just going to hold this tail here out of the way with my left hand. And our yarn is going to be to the back. So we're going to bring, again, our crochet hook is crossed over our knitting needle, and we are going to bring our yarn around the back to the front, and we're going to catch that yarn with our crochet hook and pull it through the slip knot, and that gives us one stitch onto our knitting needles. So again, our yarn is in back, and we're going to bring it around the back to the front, and we're going to grab that yarn with our crochet hook, pulling it through the loop that's on our crochet hook. We're just going to repeat these steps. Sometimes I tend to make these loops that are on my crochet hook a little bit tight, and then it makes it a little bit harder to bring that yarn through. So just be mindful of that. Try not to make those loops too tight. Provisional cast on is great for knit hems because what this does is after we are done casting on, we will begin working with our working yarn, and so our first row of stitches or round, it just keeps our first row or round live. So those stitches are going to be live and we will come back to them later. So you're just going to keep repeating these steps until you have the desired number of stitches on your needle. But we don't want this to come undone, so we need to chain a few more to make a tail that's going to be secure. So I tend to just bring my yarn to the front of my crochet hook because you don't want to put any more onto your knitting needle. And you're just going to grab that yarn and pull it through. So there's 1, 2, and there's no set number that you need to chain. I just tend to go for about an inch or 2 just until I feel like these stitches are safe and secure. Okay, so that's probably good. So this last loop, just going to pull all the way through, and you would just clip that, continue to pull that all the way through, and that would be secure for you to move on with your project. So that is the one-step provisional cast on.